phone rang at 3:17 a.m. Not my wife calling. The hospital. A nurse asked for my name twice as if she needed to confirm I existed. Behind her voice were groans. Recognizable voices. Voices I'd shared jokes with, gotten drunk with, trusted. She said, "Sir, your wife and 3 men were admitted at the same time. Severe stomach pain, high fever, confusion." I stared up at the ceiling and counted the cracks. Or patients. Identical symptoms. I smiled before I fully understood the reason, because I already knew how this night would end. 2 weeks earlier, my wife had snapped. Not screamed, not wept, snapped, clean and razor sharp. "If you can't handle me sleeping with your friends," she said, arms crossed, eyes daring me to react, "then leave. They're real men, real men." The words didn't cut like knives. Knives are messy. These were precise. I remember noticing how steady I felt, how my pulse didn't quicken, how my hands didn't shake. Asked quietly, "Which ones?" She laughed, actually laughed. "All of them," she said. "God, you really are slow." That night she slept soundly beside me. I didn't. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, and began to count. Denial is noisy, it begs, it argues. What I felt was silent. The next morning, I made her coffee, kissed her cheek, asked about her plans. Inside me, something shifted into a new arrangement. I began noticing patterns I'd dismissed before. Group chats that went quiet when I entered the room. Dinners planned without me. Friends who suddenly couldn't hold my gaze, as if guilt carried weight. I didn't accuse anyone. I watched. Phones lie less than people do. While she showered, I synced backups, pulled metadata, tracked locations, late-night movements that overlapped too cleanly to be accidental. Always the same. Hotel. Always Thursdays. I watched her dress for those nights with rehearsed indifference. Told her to enjoy herself. She mistook that for weakness. She was wrong. The hardest part wasn't proving the truth. It was understanding how carefully I'd been selected as the fool. 3 friends, men I'd defended, loaned money to, called brothers. They weren't careless. They were methodical, rotating nights.
Burner apps.
Phones left in, cars.
Professionals.
I saved everything. Screenshots, receipts, timestamps. Didn't confront them. I invited them over instead. Barbecue, beer, laughter. I watched them eat food I'd cooked myself. I watched my wife smile like she'd won something, and I planned. The test results came first. Not medical, chemical. My wife had a passion for organic supplements, natural mixtures, things she trusted without question. Weeks earlier, I'd changed one ingredient, not poison, just a compound that reacted badly with alcohol, harmless alone. Together, chaos. One evening, I handed her a printed report, said nothing. She skimmed it and scoffed. "You think this scares me?" she asked. I met her eyes. "No," I said. "I think it explains you." She froze, not with fear, but recognition. They drank heavily that night, celebrating something I wasn't meant to understand. By morning, they were screaming. By noon, they were admitted. I arrived last, calm, clean, collected. They lay in separate beds, pale and trembling. When the doctor came, in a tired man with honest eyes, he spoke carefully. "Gentlemen, this is difficult to say. Your diagnosis is acute toxic reaction. Same compound, same exposure window." Their faces turned toward me. My wife tried to speak. No sound came out. I leaned in close enough that only she could hear. "As you wished," I whispered. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I set the folder on the tray. Table, evidence, timelines, messages. The doctor left. The room collapsed inward. One of them vomited. Another begged. My wife stared at me like I was a stranger who knew every secret she had. "You planned this?" she asked. I nodded. "Yes."
No anger.
"Just truth." "I never touched them," I added. "You did. I only adjusted the variables." She reached for me. I stepped back. That was when she understood. Not that she'd been exposed, but that she'd lost. The divorce was fast, public, exact. I made no comments. Let the rumors consume themselves. They recovered. Physically. They won't recover socially. I moved away. New city. New quiet. Sometimes I think about the man I used to be, the one who believed loyalty had to be loud. I don't miss him. Betrayal doesn't destroy you. Shows you exactly where to cut and how.